The drama between Raja and Pearl is very old, but a lot of people may not be aware of it. I'd like to credit this post by the user Mother Has Arrived on the RPDR drama subreddit from 9 years ago, which details everything that happened. And I'm going to give a brief overview of the drama. But as this happened quite a long time ago, a lot of the posts have been deleted, so for some of the story I'm just having to go on what other people have said on Reddit. Okay, so the drama happened back in 2015, which was just after Season 7 aired. Pearl had been a popular contestant on Season 7, but after the show, some fans felt that Pearl was being ungrateful and or lazy, and she developed a bit of a reputation because of this. According to the Reddit post, the drama started in June of 2015 when Pearl missed 2 gigs on the same day in the US. And shortly after, she flew to Paris and cancelled/postponed even more US gigs that conflicted with the timing of the Paris trip. Due to the reputation that Pearl had for being ungrateful/lazy, people started to then speculate why Pearl had cancelled these gigs, such as due to alcoholism, being unprofessional, or due to a concussion that she had, which I'll talk more about later. However, this was all just speculation. This drama then became quite well known within the fandom, and other queens started joking about it. Apparently, Pandora Box made a joke about the situation online by posting a photo of a store that was called Pearl, although I can't find a copy of this post anywhere because it's been deleted. However, Pandora quickly deleted the photo after negative comments, with people defending Pearl and saying that Pandora shouldn't have been joking about it. Raja then posted on what looks like Facebook and seemingly commented on the Pearl situation and said, "I get it, I was there and still am. Your first year after participating in a televised competition seen around the world with newfound fame is intoxicating. I've never been too intoxicated to not show up to the job. Did you hear me? I said job. We are queens, yes, but for F's sake, show a smidgen of work ethic and it could last longer than the year. This is your occupation in a budding industry with people right behind your punk ass who want that limelight more than you, apparently. Respect the art or not. Just don't be gross. Take this from someone older who has seen the disappointments and triumphs who can share a hashtag pearl of wisdom." Although Raja did receive some criticism for posting this, other people seemed to support Raja and what she was saying, and it seemed to go down better than what Pandora had said. A few days later, Pearl posted a photo on Instagram of her in Paris with the caption, "Feeling cozy in Paris." But people online started criticising Pearl because she had cancelled gigs in the US to make room for this Paris trip, and people accused Pearl of neglecting her fans. However, after this, some other Drag Race queens such as Miss Fame, Violet Chachki and Sharon Needles posted that they were also in Paris for work. So people realised that Pearl was in Paris for work and not just on vacation, so therefore maybe it was understandable that she had cancelled some of her gigs in the US. Apparently, Bianca Del Rio was then booked at a gig with Katya, and she apparently said that for Season 7, she was Team Katya, and Bianca also apparently threw some shade at Pearl. However, the post has been deleted, so I'm not exactly sure what was said. Sharon Needles then tweeted about the Paris trip and said, "Paris was lovely as always, only made sweeter, but the company at Miss Fame, at Pearl, at Violet Chachki." And people couldn't tell if Sharon was throwing shade by saying "but the company," or whether it was a typo and Sharon meant to say "made sweeter by the company." Sharon then responded to someone and posted this photo in the same Twitter thread. I can't see what this tweet was in response to because the reply has been deleted, but people have commented on Reddit and on Twitter, implying that Sharon was throwing shade at Pearl by posting this photo, and there seemed to be some animosity between them, but I'm not exactly sure why because the context has been deleted. Another queen who then seemingly commented on the Pearl situation was Ongina, who posted on Facebook saying, "Hey brackets some Drag Race alumni and future drag racers, don't be such entitled C-words. Be humble, climb back down from that high horse you're on, be thankful, you are no better than this queen or that queen. Quit thinking the world owes you more than you deserve because you are on a reality television show. No, seriously, please and thank you. Really had to get off my chest because it's getting gross. According to the Reddit post, there was then a moment when the owner of a club called 340 Nightclub posted on Instagram saying that they had tried to book Pearl and Ginger Minj, but they couldn't agree on a price because the queens were asking for too much money. However, the post has been deleted, so I can't say for certain what was said. But this further increased the scrutiny that Pearl was getting. Just after this, nude photos of Pearl were leaked online, and lots of people were sharing these images, but other people were saying how violating it was and that Pearl shouldn't have to deal with that. Pearl then finally responded to the situation, and she posted a very long Facebook post. I won't read the whole thing, but I'll just pick out the most important parts. Pearl started off by saying that this post was long overdue and she wants to respond to the quote nonsense that has been said about her. Pearl continued by saying that she has been working constantly and has avoided social media because she was too busy to have a life, and this was the reason she had to unfortunately cancel 2 gigs. Pearl then seemingly referenced a concussion that she had and said, quote, "The next time I fall, bump my head and am bleeding out of my ear after already working 1 out of 3 jobs that day, I'm going to put on a pair of headphones, get to the function and risk my well-being to avoid this relentless criticism." It then looks like Pearl was referring to Raja's criticism of her, and Pearl said, quote, "The fact that there are pseudo mother hens publicly disparaging me for reasons I never cared enough to figure out is not only nauseating, but goes completely against the sisterhood you mock." Pearl then named Raja specifically and said that she had filled in for Raja in the past and that Raja had falsely claimed that her passport was stolen, which is why she couldn't go to the gig, but Pearl said that that wasn't true. But Pearl said that she never called Raja out publicly about this and was questioning why Raja was doing it to her. Pearl then said that if you don't like her, then don't follow her, but there's no need to drag someone. She also referenced the leaked nude photos of her and said she wasn't ashamed of them, but some people are, quote, pathetic for encouraging it. And she finished by saying that people need to get a life and leave her alone. Raja then posted a Facebook post seemingly in response to Pearl's post, and Raja said, "Lol, I've seen the rant, it's very sweet. The only thing I got out of that was her sentence structures, questionable grammar, spelling, and the desperate need for an indentation in the paragraph. If you stare at the run-on rant long enough, zone out on the letters, stare into the centre of the page, you will see an image of me farting out a prolapse." Raja then posted again, seemingly referencing Pearl's leaked nude photos and said, "Pearl's got a hot bleep, or in other words penis, and bush. Mine is old, I can barely cough out a single Pearl, but I try." Raja then apparently got a lot of backlash for these comments and then deleted the posts. The drama then died down a bit, but apparently, according to a Reddit user, sometime later, Raja was in London performing at a gig. And according to the Reddit user, Raja was really drunk and could barely perform. And she also apparently made some shady comments about Pearl and said that Pearl was a lazy, arrogant child. However, this is just what a Reddit user said, so I can't guarantee this is true. And that seemed to be the end of the drama. And as I said, this all happened back in 2015, so it's quite old drama, and I'm not sure what Raja and Pearl's relationship is like now. But I checked on social media, and as of right now, neither of them are following each other on social media. But we'll have to wait to see if anything else ever happens between the two of them in the future.